Welcome to the new TMZ Live, where we bring you inside our newsroom as our staff chases down today's stories in real time.
Welcome to TMZ Live. The legal papers are in. Now the judge is going to decide if Sean Diddy Combs is released on bail pending his sentence in October.
That's what he wants. He has made his case for why he should be released.
This could happen today, by the way.
Offering a $50 million bail package, but prosecutors late last night responded and said, not so fast.
So what the defense said was, you can't keep somebody in jail without bail for violating the Mann Act, which is taking prostitutes across state lines for purposes of prostitution.
You could say fancy prostitution solicitation.
Yeah, where you put them on a plane.
Transported them across state lines. Right.
And you can't deny them bail. And the defense said, find us cases where this has happened, where the judge has denied bail.
Well, guess what? Prosecutors found a couple cases, and they cited them in these documents they filed. They said that there are two that they found. There could be more, I guess, but they found two cases in federal court where there were defendants who were charged with sex trafficking and the Mann Act, and in both of those cases, they were not convicted of sex trafficking, just like Diddy, and they were found guilty of the Mann Act violations.
So it sounds like, okay.
The judges in both of those cases held the defendants without bail until sentencing.
So it's
carbon copy of Diddy. They did it, right?
There's a big problem. So these were federal trial judges. They're called federal district judges. And
just like Judge Aaron Subramanian in Diddy's case.
That's right. And so, number one, this law has been in effect for more than 100 years. And to only find two is not a great number because it looks like they are almost targeting individuals if it only comes up twice like that. But that's an argument. The bigger argument is that federal trial judges, district judges, if they make a ruling, it has no binding effect on all of the other hundreds of federal trial judges. So in law, we call it there's no precedential value. In other words, if it were an appeals court that said, yeah, you can hold somebody for violation of the Mann Act pending conviction without bail. If it was an appeals court, that would have precedential effect. And it would be really important.
To be a higher court.
So higher court.
Appeals court or Supreme Court. Right.
But here, it's a federal judge.
So this is more like a suggestion to the judge in Diddy's case.
Not even
to say, here's how a couple of your comrades in arms have handled this in the past.
Right, but there's no precedential value to it. And the other thing you got to remember is just maybe 2 months ago or less, the Supreme Court had a case where they were asked to allow federal judges, individual trial federal judges, to block executive orders that they felt were unconstitutional. And the United States I'll tell you why. The United States Supreme Court said, no, they can't do that because you got all these judges and you can just go to one and you can get a decision that based on his point of view, or you go to this one. So the Supreme Court said, we're not going to let federal trial judges have that kind of power. So they've diminished the role of these federal judges. And it's really the appellate courts, the Court of Appeals or the Supreme Court.
Yes, the Supreme Court has agreed. I'm not sure that really applies in this case.
But we're getting really legal. But the bottom line is that this judge could decide today, now that the papers are in, the prosecution filed its papers late last night. They could decide to release him today.
Beyond all the legalese that you just went into.
Well, I think it's important.
It is important, but there were other things they put in the document.
We're on a live stream right now, Jackson. Are people interested in this?
Yeah, everyone's talking about it.
There you go. Go on.
Oh, really? What are they saying about it, Jackson?
Diddy is more dangerous than the others. He'll have his people do his dirty work.
So they're interested.
But there were other things that the prosecutors, Jamie, you looked through these documents.
So,
there were other things that they said, reasons to hold him.
The prosecutors, the two main reasons are that, does Diddy pose a danger to the public? In the view of the prosecutors, yes, and for the reasons they've been stating for a very long time, Diddy, was violent toward his former girlfriends, and then
was violent late, as according to the testimony, in 2024.
The problem with that, he was violent, and he should have been prosecuted for some of those things.
Yeah.
But he wasn't, and that's not relevant to the Mann Act, which is the issue.
Right.
Look, I get the violence part, and they hung their hat on violence last time, and it worked. But to say he's a flight risk when he's surrendering his passport and Diddy can't go anywhere without somebody knowing
Why would the prosecutors ask for sentencing enhancements on the Mann Act?
Because
this is
they lost the case.
I
and
understand.
they need a pound of flesh.
Right. No, I know.
Jamie, they lost the case.
But that is really unfair based on the conviction charges. I mean, asking for you just look stupid asking for sentencing enhancements on these.
They're asking
charges.
for sentencing enhancements. In other words, go beyond what the sentencing guidelines are and give him even more time. And it's the Mann Act.
And they cite the testimony.
Guys, this is not going to fly.
Right.
Johnny Benitez, Brooklyn, New York. I think based on just what Diddy got convicted of, he should probably be able to be out on bail. If anybody's going to get him sentenced past what he actually should be, it's because there's personal ill will, just based on the nature and human being that you might think he is. But if, in America, I think people have the right to get tried on the case in front of you. And as unfortunate as it might be to the judge who might think Diddy is a monster for doing things, he's entitled to be treated like anybody else would be treated in that normal kind of setting. So it'd be interesting to see, because if he gets denied this bail, it would kind of be like a pre-tell to how unfairly he might get sentenced should he do a maximum sentence. And it's kind of similar almost to I guess how O.J. Simpson was treated in Las Vegas when it seemed like he got over-sentenced for something because somebody had ill will about what he did prior. So it's going to be one of those kind of situations.
I got to tell you, you said it better than me. I mean, everything you just said.
He actually did.
Everything you just said is the point, which is Diddy may well be a monster. And there's reason that a lot of people believe that. And when you look at the Cassie video, hard to argue.
Right.
But you're right. You gotta handle the law the way the law is.
And we gotta trust. That's what the judge is going to do.
Well said. Well said.
Well, Michelle Obama has sparked a huge debate between men and women. Mostly between men and women.
Oh, that's really sexist.
Yes, it was, of me. I apologize. But here's what she's talking about. That's why I said generally between men and women. She was on her podcast and took a shot at men who watch ESPN and talk smack on women who watch Bravo and Real Housewives shows. She said, it's the same thing.
Meaning ESPN is the same as Real Housewives.
Like watching Bravo.
So this is great. Watch this.
This is where I want to educate my brother and even my husband who will be listening. Culture is king.
Yeah, culture is king.
The truth is they razz me about my love of reality TV and the Real Housewives. I watch it all. They think that sports is better reality TV. I was like, it's the same thing. There's drama in sports.
There's so much drama. Yeah, that's right.
If I listen to ESPN for an hour, it's like watching the Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Absolutely.
It's the same drama and they're yelling at each other and they don't get along. Stephen A. Smith, he's just like every other talk show host.
Real Housewife.
He would be.
Right.
The fact that people over seasons of working together still can't get along.
Right.
They still have the same arguments, and it's not just women, but this happens in sports too.
Right.
I find it fascinating.
Okay. So
I definitely think she has a point, you guys. I mean, so many times I'll see men standing in front of a TV going oh my God, I can't believe that just happened. It's a football game.
Yeah.
I'm like, you guys love the drama.
Here's the difference. Yes, we do love the drama. That is drama based on something that is actually happening.
So let me ask a question. During a football game, when they show Taylor Swift 10 times in the stand.
Don't talk to me about the Taylor Swift.
Well, but it's simply true.
Well, that's fine.
It's performative.
That's what?
They're showing her as much as they're showing what's going on in the game.
Because they're trying to appeal to the Bravo audience that is now tuning into the NFL.
So the Bravo audience and NFL have merged.
Hi, I'm Nadja from New Rochelle, and honestly, she's not wrong. Between how I've seen basketball players throw themselves on the floor every time they get nudged a little bit, and fans throwing each other on the floor every time a team wins or loses, it's the same thing. You're just watching the same thing.
And the way they beat up Caitlin Clark, it's Real Housewives of Indiana. I'm telling you.
Wow.
Coming up.
Something seems to be cooking with Ghislaine Maxwell and the feds. She has been moved very quietly to a new prison. In fact, it's not even a prison, it's called a prison camp. There's no way that this is coincidence.
It's not a coincidence.
That's right on the heels of that Justice Department meeting, she gets moved.
Be right back.
Something seems to be cooking with Ghislaine Maxwell and the feds. You know that there's been all this debate about whether or not she should get immunity. Do they offer her some sort of deal
or
for her to come in, or a straight up pardon? Here's what has happened. She has been moved very quietly to a new prison. In fact, it's not even a prison, it's called a prison camp. It is minimum security. So she had been at a federal prison in Florida, minimum security, so it wasn't like she was in Supermax or anything, but now she's been moved to Texas, Bryan, Texas, at the prison camp there, federal prison camp, and that is the lowest security that the feds offer.
So timing makes a huge difference here. So just days ago, Ghislaine Maxwell spent 2 days talking with a top Justice Department official about supposedly what she knows. Her lawyer has made it clear he would like some sort, I can't remember the word he used, he didn't say pardon, but he wants some sort of accommodation for her in return for her cooperation. And it cannot be coincidental that on the heels of that, they move her. Now the question, move her, why? Is it to say, okay, you gave us some stuff, so we're going to do this. And you give us more stuff, and we'll give you a pardon. Is it that, or is it something else?
Or is this the only accommodation, and now they are going to get something more from her? We don't know at this point, but you're right. There's no way that this is coincidence.
It's not a coincidence.
That right on the heels of that Justice Department meeting, she gets moved.
And by the way, one of the victims of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, who took her life, her family, Virginia Giuffre, they have been all over now talking about how dare anybody even consider giving Ghislaine Maxwell a pardon. They say she's a monster, that she was the ringleader of all of this, that she was more brutal than Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
And so there is a war going on over what should happen with her, and they're saying she's a liar, that she has lied her way through civil cases, and that whatever she says can't be trusted.
And that's the thing about them offering her, if this is an accommodation, right, that she has been moved to this prison either because of things she's already told them or that she is going to say, how can you trust anything she's saying? Because in fact, now you've given her something, so it's sort of like, oh, she's just going to tell you whatever she needs to.
Yes, but any offer of proof like this, anything that you get in exchange for a reduction in sentence, clemency, pardon, is always going to have to be subject to verification. It can't just be a statement that she makes, and we therefore, now it may have been, talk to us, we'll give you the better prison conditions, give us something reliable that we can use.
Then we'll talk about.
Or if the conspiracy theorists are to be believed, don't give us something reliable that we can use, and we'll reward you for that.
So then the issue is, does Trump give her a pardon knowing that her testimony is worthless?
That he can't There's no way.
He has been Teflon for...
No way that it can happen.
Hey, Michael from New York City here. There's definitely a lot of smoke and mirrors around Ghislaine Maxwell right now, and I wouldn't be surprised to hear if we get some rumblings about maybe Real Housewives of Brian Federal now that she's in the same facility as people like Jen Shaw and Elizabeth Holmes. We might never actually know why, but we might get a shot.
That's right. I knew that Jen Shaw was in this prison camp. I forgot Elizabeth Holmes is also there.
God, that's crazy.
So we all remember the famous quote from President Trump.
Which one?
That there were decent people on both sides.
I knew it. I was going to guess.
There were
I was
decent
going to
people
guess
on both
that.
sides. Well, Bill
my God.
Bill Burr is doing the exact opposite. He's saying there are complete idiots on both sides, and he is sick and tired of them. So Bill was on the Good One podcast with Jesse David Fox, and this is what he had to say about both sides.
We keep doing where it's like, oh, the right's all racist, and the left is some of the most. Most of the left feels like if they have a black friend, they don't have issues. Okay, I'm out of that.
Yes,
I'm out of that, so I don't want to hear left and right crap. They're all nuts. That post Me Too, where it went from people shouldn't sexually assault people, absolutely, to I don't like what you're talking about in your act, was nuts. It was McCarthyism on the left. And now you've gone to the other side on the right. And the left was up, the right, the psycho right thinks that they're in the middle, and they're not. They're out of their minds. And I travel, dude, and I'm telling you, people who lean right and lean left are chill. And we're just sitting in the middle like, when is everybody going to calm down?
Could not agree with Bill Burr. Not Bill Barr.
Different guy altogether.
Different guy altogether. I couldn't agree with him more. And this
slow clap. Can we get a slow clap for that? Honestly,
it is absolutely true.
Although it seems kind of common sense, but
80% of the country lives in that middle, where they may lean a little left, they may lean a little right, but they're all kind of right here.
Right,
and then you've got people here on both sides with a megaphone. And they dominate because the media picks it up more
and yell about everything and try to, as much as the right says that there's that wokeism, and which is a thing. There's, I don't know what you call it on the right, but they have the same thing on the right.
Way back in the day, Richard Nixon, who I just really did not like. He talked about the silent majority. And I used to have such disdain when I heard him say that, because it was all, the silent majority supporting the Vietnam War. No, they're not. But I believe in the concept of the silent majority, that 80% of the people are just living their lives here. And you got these people that are screaming on both sides, and it sucks.
Hi guys, it's Malik Singleton calling out of Detroit, Michigan. And I personally believe comedians should not tailor themselves left or right. It's all jokes it's all humor. And so no, I don't think, you should be left or right to try to appeal to anybody in your true gift for talent. Just create and be the comedian that you are.
Well said. I'm all for that. It's what I hope to get when I go see stand-up comedy.
Coming up.
When does Turbulence threaten the aircraft itself? Because that's what everybody wonders about.
Right. So joining us right now to talk about that is Pete Capio.
It's never going to really be a threat to bringing the aircraft down. Now, I want to also say, though, it is obviously a threat to passenger safety.
Be right back.
TMZ's got every freaking thing. Big celebs, big stories, big events.
Phoebe Rexha was looking hot on vacation.
Look at the water, too. Did you just say, look at the water?
I mean, I'll be honest, that is what I was looking at. The number of fears that you have to have now when you are flying, and I was never someone who was afraid of flying, but...
From when you roll back, you're worried about runway incursions. You're worried
looking out the window now all the time, looking at where are the other planes. Does air traffic control know that this plane is in the right place?
Right.
And then there's what happened this week on this Delta flight with severe turbulence, and they had to make an emergency landing in Minneapolis. but all the carts went up, people went up and slammed into the ceiling. Now, they made a safe landing. Nobody was killed, but several people were severely injured.
25 people were injured on this flight.
Right.
It was, the plane dropped 1,500 feet like that. It was terrifying.
So is there an increased problem with turbulence, perhaps just because of the environment, because of weather?
Well, we know the answer to that is yes, because they've been talking about it. I think the real issue is, when does turbulence threaten the aircraft itself? Because that's what everybody wonders about.
Right. So joining us right now to talk about that is Pete Capio. You may know his account on Instagram because he goes by Pilot Pete. He is a commercial airline pilot, and he is joining us right now to talk about it. Pete, welcome to TMZ Live.
Charles, Harvey, thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
So help us. I think the question that we never hear answered, at a point, can extreme turbulence compromise the aircraft?
Simple answer is no. So that's kind of why I made this video on TikTok that everyone's watching. And yes, turbulence is uncomfortable. It's scary. Nobody likes it. Even myself, when I'm flying the Boeing 767 around the world, I don't enjoy going through turbulence. With that being said, it's never going to really be a threat to bringing the aircraft down. Now, I want to also say, though, it is obviously a threat to passenger safety because of the incident that you're referring to and showing now. 25 people going to a hospital, flight crew members hitting their heads on ceilings, passengers. That's not a good thing. And that's not something that pilots and airlines want to obviously happen. You can see the destruction from the galley carts that weren't fully secure. How it really got. But no, I think that was like my main driving point home talking about this video was, as bad and as severe as turbulence can get, the two major manufacturers of airplanes, Boeing and Airbus, whether you love them or hate them, the airplanes are manufactured and engineered to withstand the worst of turbulence times 100. So even though they went through that insanely bad, severe turbulence, people got hurt. It was no good. The airplane was still safe. And look, it even continued from Salt Lake City to Minneapolis a couple hours and landed safely.
You say you fly 767, so I just got to get real for a second. I've read a lot and seen a lot of documentaries on what's been happening with Boeing over the last 20 years. And there have been issues with bolting on some of the wide-body aircrafts, I believe the 777s and whatnot. So when you have those bolting type issues or issues like with the 737 MAX, could that
be exacerbated by by severe turbulence?
Right.
Short answer, no. Again, I totally get it. They're under the microscope, and in today's world, digital age, Boeing specifically, especially after the Netflix documentary that came out, is under the microscope, as they should be. Look, just like you, Harvey, just like you, Charles, you want to go home to your family and friends every day. I don't think you'd walk into the TMZ headquarters if you thought it was a threat. The same with me. I wouldn't board a Boeing 767 on a daily, weekly, monthly basis if my life was in jeopardy. So the problems that Boeing has had, and then the severe turbulence that this one did encounter, even though this was not a Boeing aircraft, it was an Airbus A330, there really is no conjunction there or parallels that would exaggerate or make the problem worse.
So if you start to feel some turbulence, even bad turbulence, make sure your seatbelt's on, and you can have a very reasonable belief that we're going to get through this, that this is not going to turn into an absolute tragedy where the plane is actually at risk, that you just got to ride it out.
As bad as the turbulence will get, it will never bring an airplane down. It's scary.
It's comforting.
You may throw up. You may hit your head on the ceiling, but the plane is not going to crash especially from 35,000 feet and come down, and it's not going to rip the wings off. I always tell people this: when you're experiencing really bad turbulence, you paid, we'll call it $300 for that ticket. It's like an expensive ticket at Disney. You paid for a fun ride. Enjoy the ride.
That's a bad example. Because rides,
that's snake oil. That's snake oil salesman. No.
Look, I'm not even selling tickets.
No.
I help people overcome their fear.
Okay, so look, you've given us good advice. Can I offer one piece of advice to you?
Uh-oh.
Let's hear it.
Okay, and I'm really serious about this because it drives me crazy. Shouldn't have a pen in your pocket there. What? Because you just never know. You might fall, and there's a sharp object right by your heart, and it just, I just think it's a bad idea. And it drives me crazy when I see this.
What are you talking about?
I just don't think he should have a pen.
Where did this fear come from?
He's got a, no, I just.
First of all, the pen is on in his right lapel.
It could still,
it's not near his heart.
It could go diagonal.
What?
Fair. Real quick though, Harvey, real quick. Number one, for pilots everywhere, when we have to write down instructions, it's super easy to grab and write. And number two, I just put this on for you. I'm not even wearing freaking pants right now. This is just a setup to make myself look better.
Okay. He's an actual pilot, okay?
And there is more of a prop than anything. It just makes it look better. But I hear you. Not to rush
Pete, we got to go, but I got to ask you one quick question. How often when you're flying do people recognize you? If our viewers may not realize that you were on The Bachelor season 15, was it?
Season 20, you're thinking of someone else. I was on season 21 of The Bachelorette and Bachelor in Paradise season 9.
How often do passengers recognize you as you're getting on the plane? Like, wait a second.
It depends. I think it depends on the demographic. But every once in a while on the terminals specifically, I'll get stopped and asked to talk and take some pictures. I love it though. I'm a people person, so it's all good with me.
That's great. Okay, Pete.
All right. Thanks so much,
Really
Pete.
appreciate it.
Be safe, guys. Thanks again.
Thanks. It is good news about Turbulence, actually.
But the pen, I'm telling you.
But the pen,
Beware.
stop it.
Coming up.
A few years ago, there was a developer who bought Jeffrey Epstein's island, and they turned it into a luxury resort, which, guess what? It's just about ready to open. Question is,
who's gonna go?
Will people go?
Be right back.
Welcome back to TMZ Live. I'm making an offer. How would you like a wonderful vacation in the Caribbean?
I think this might be too soon. This might be too soon.
On a beautiful sunny island. Who would turn that down, right? Well, it depends on the island, clearly. But you may remember this, that a few years ago, there was a developer who bought Jeffrey Epstein's island, the infamous Epstein Island, and they turned it into a luxury resort, which, guess what? It's just about ready to open. And it looks great.
But this is crazy because nobody's really shown this until today.
Right.
And I remember
they've been working on it, and now they're ready to show off their wares. The question is,
who's going to go?
Will people go?
This is fascinating. This is fascinating.
And clearly, the developers sunk a lot of money into this. Now we're finally finding out what they're getting for all that money and what any potential tourists would get. I just don't know. Talk about a risk that this developer has taken. Because
it's a huge risk, but there have been other.
Look, it looks beautiful.
No, it's undeniably, and it's in the Caribbean, right?
Yes, and if you didn't know anything about.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The history, and you look at this, you go, look at the pool, Harvey. Do you see the pool?
Can I add something about that pool?
Mm-hmm.
That pool, one of the two, is the centerpiece of original Epstein Island. He installed that pool. Does that change it for you at all? Because
so it's the original pool?
Yes, part of the centerpiece of the new development is a Jeffrey Epstein pool that was already there.
Why would they not get rid of it?
You got to start from scratch.
Because you said it was a nice pool. So he didn't want to rebuild things that didn't need to be rebuilt. He bought it for $60 million as an investment property. He built this 25-room resort. His name's Stephen Deckoff. He's a big investor at Black Diamond Capital. And parts of it he wanted to keep, obviously. Now, I think that's a misstep. I agree, because this is like houses that you buy that people have died in. Sometimes you think there's bad juju in it. This island's got some bad juju.
Well, but also, it's like until the Epstein files are released and you know everybody who went and they kind of settle it all, it's like if you go to it, people are going to say, you went to Epstein's Island.
Adriana from New York. I think this is disgusting. I think anyone that's involved in it is disgusting. I think anyone who thought of it is disgusting. I think anyone who wants to go to it is disgusting. This island should be completely burned to the ground. Of course, rich people are taking this opportunity to make more money for themselves. This was such
a hell of an island. It needs to be done with. And they're just weirdos for it.
Yeah,
I mean, there are people who will feel that way.
I think a lot of people.
You can't burn an island to the ground. I mean, you could burn everything that's on it. But I do think, I don't know why he would leave the pool.
I have a really quick question for you. If you were in a position to buy a piece of property in LA that overlooks the whole city in this beautiful view, and you could move into this mansion, and I told you it was the Sharon Tate mansion with the Manson murders, would you do it?
I would not do it. If I was rich, I'd buy literally anything else. Like, no. It's haunted. It's disgusting. It's awful. No, I wouldn't.
Okay.
There you go. So former NBA star Gilbert Arenas is now facing some very serious charges. He was arrested earlier this week by the feds, who claim that he was running a casino basically out of his home in Encino. He and 5 other people were arrested. They say that they had this very elaborate casino night parties, and he was taking a cut of the money, and therefore that is illegal gambling.
So he's facing like 10 years?
Potentially, because there were 2 counts. That would be about the maximum. He got out on bail, and as Gilbert Arenas does, remember, this is quite a change of fortunes for Gilbert Arenas.
Well, I remember the gun thing with the
when he
Washington,
was playing,
in
right?
Washington. Yeah.
And he was at a point one of the highest paid, if not the highest paid, player in the NBA. So had a huge contract, and now possibly facing prison time. So when he gets out on bail, what do? Quietly go meet with your lawyer, figure out a defense.
You go on a podcast.
No, you hop online, you go live. It wasn't even really a podcast.
Oh, I thought it was a podcast.
He went live on his YouTube channel. And as for how this case is going to turn out, he's fairly confident he's going to get out of this because, well, here's how Gilbert put it.
Yeah, baby, I'm on them. I'm out. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hey, they took my passport. Man, like, damn, my passport? That's crazy, because I got another one, but you gotta have 2. That was that. Yeah, I think I'm dumb. What was crazy is the who arrested me, I played basketball. He went to high school. I played him in high school, man. I'm the only one that bailed out. Everybody's still there. They not letting them go. Hey, y'all, good luck in court. Hey, man, because I'm pretty sure I ain't gonna be there when it's time to go. Because yeah, I'm snitching.
Oh my God. Okay. So many things you should not have said in the middle of a federal case.
Like,
I have 2 passports.
And you
I'm snitching part.
And you're
joking.
That's honest. And you're joking about it.
But the thing about Gilbert Arenas, though, is he's like a professional troll. He does this all the time, so you never know whether he's being serious or not serious.
I get it that he's a professional troll, but the feds don't care about trolling.
Coming up.
Sydney Sweeney has been the most talked about celebrity all week. And it's all because of the American Eagle ad. Let's follow the money here, because that's what this is really all about, is the money that American Eagle stands to make. Bring in our good buddy Damon John.
We like looking at pretty people. I'm sorry to say it.
Be right back.
Well, she doesn't have a new movie out, but Sydney Sweeney has been the most talked about celebrity all week, with the exception of maybe Katy Perry and Pierre Trudeau.
Fox News talked about Sydney Sweeney 15 times more than they did Epstein this week.
Yes, and it's all because of the American Eagle ad, which, by the way, Lizzo kind of weighed in on this when she reposted a image of her that's gone viral all week, wearing all denim, and the one that went viral said, if the Democrats had won the election, and it would be Lizzo in denim. Well, Lizzo reposted that image and said, my jeans are black.
The problem is she's wearing blue jeans.
Well, she didn't make the image, but you're right. If she was going to repost it, she could have photoshopped it.
She should have photoshopped the jeans.
Just to keep the double entendre.
That's right.
So, what's in this for American Eagle? Is this something, we've talked about this, whether or not they did this intentionally to get people talking about it?
Yeah.
Was it a double entendre that people didn't realize was going to offend?
No way.
Let's follow the money here, because that's what this is really all about, is the money that American Eagle stands to make. And when we follow the money, We're bringing our good buddy Damon John from Shark Tank. Damon, what say you about American Eagle's jeans?
I think this American Eagle jean campaign is absolutely...
Call it Gene. Yes.
We need to know. It's
Gene. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Gene. Yes.
That's
okay.
actually pretty good.
I think it is absolutely fantastic for a couple of reasons. First of all, American Eagle was already suffering. Their stock is up 10%. So from the company standpoint, it's great. Second of all, because now it's starting to turn, hopefully, and now they have more funds and more ways to go in this direction. Second of all, we're all talking about it, right? Third of all, it's just a beautiful campaign. And I think that their play on genes, which is she happened to have, I don't know if that's good genes or she's in shape right now. And, you know, years from later, there'll be some negative effects. But we like looking at pretty people. I'm sorry to say it. We like it, whether it was Marky Mark back in the days or whether we look at Taylor Swift or Beyonce. We do all like to look at things that we would like to strive to be. I don't think it was anything against a race, Aryan Nation. I've heard all kinds of stuff like that. But remember, the country, there's only 20% of people on Twitter, and it doesn't mean what they say dictates what happened, because if they would have put me in the ad, then would have been great genes, we're going for
Black
no.
Lives Matter. I'm sorry. I disagree with you. The 20%, the 20% does dictate what goes on in the country. We're talking about it because of the 20%. And to me, there is no way American Eagle, with its marketing department and PR department and all the executives that look at the campaign, they know the double entendre here. And I think they wanted it because that's why we're talking about it.
They wanted the double entendre, but did they want it to be compared to Hitler and eugenics?
That's the double entendre. They knew it was going to be, and it worked.
Out of the 20% that may dictate the conversation, then what happened to Bud Light? You see, they decided to go after a different market that just wasn't necessarily theirs, and it didn't play well.
Bud Light probably doesn't want controversy because they were on top at that point. American Eagle probably, I don't know where they rank in
Everybody
jeans distributors,
wants,
but
everybody wants controversy for
if
sure.
If you're fourth or fifth or if you're not number one, you take a shot, right? You're like, all right, let's try some controversy. Let's see if that gets us, we can gain in the rankings.
You want to take advantage of controversy? Let's talk about astronomer. Did we ever hear of astronomer before 2 weeks ago?
Well, no.
Well, but that was
inadvertent.
That wasn't a campaign, by the way.
Although they did
with Gwyneth Paltrow, they did. Right. That was great. That was great.
Right.
But that was fun. Look, everybody agrees that American Eagle, it was a double entendre. The double entendre is eugenics. I mean, there's no other double entendre. Yes, it is. That's the double entendre. And they knew it was going to happen.
Let's follow the money, Harv. Let's follow the money, Harv. After 2020, everybody went to these body-conscious ads, from and changing away Victoria's Secrets and various other things. I don't want to shock you, but almost none of those campaigns for any of those corporations have ever worked out when they went more towards what majority of the people look like, people like me, right? The reality is what we want to talk about and what people are really doing behind doors or with their dollars are two different things.
Yeah.
Fair point.
Yeah. Yep.
Fair point. People will they'll make a big stink about it, but really they all want to look at Sydney Sweeney's.
And that's the reality, because if it wasn't, then I wouldn't be wasting my time with you two guys. My little husky self, I'd be out there selling jeans, selling everything. I'm available.
As they say, life is good.
Life is good indeed. Damon, thanks so much, man. We'll see you next time.
I don't think we got anywhere today, and I'm feeling good about that.
Me too.
Well, I
feel satisfied.
We did learn that this is working out for American Eagle since their stock is up.
10%.
So the stockholders are happy. Damon, we'll talk to you next time.
Life is good. Peace.
Coming up.
Well, Billy Zane was playing Marlon Brando. We got him out at LAX.
Do you think Marlon Brando is the most attractive leading man in his prime?
Heck yeah. Be right back.
Well, Billy Zane is already famous. It will probably be
He's one of my
most
favorite
famous role.
He's one of my favorite actors.
Prior to this role, his most famous was being the villain in Titanic. But now he's playing Marlon Brando.
And the resemblance for the period that he's playing is remarkable.
Yes, the film is called Waltzing with Brando, and he is playing Brando in
the Godfather era.
So Brando is often referred to as like the most handsome leading man in Hollywood.
In his
what
day,
era of Brando?
In the 50s.
Got
he
it.
was the most handsome movie star ever, and maybe to this day.
So kudos to Billy Zane for scoring this role. We got him out at LAX, and this is what he had to say about playing Brando.
You are the perfect guy to play Brando.
I'm wearing his shirt. This was wardrobe. I had to bust it. It's my summer. I was like, man, I think I'll pull a little Tahiti today.
I like that.
Thank you.
Do you think Marlon Brando is the most attractive leading man in his prime?
Heck yeah. Let me give you a little scoop. Bring it up just a little high. There it is. That's a flattering angle. You gotta go above the jaw.
I gotta say, when I type in Marlon Brando and scroll through the images, it could be you.
Here's the funny one. There was an article about him, and they posted a photo from the movie by mistake, which I think is a good testament that, the makeup department does their... Oh, stop.
You look exactly like him. It's crazy.
He does look exactly like him.
He does.
He like when
It's a
you
strong resemblance. I don't know if I'd say exactly.
No,
but
when you see him in the role, it's like basically identical to what Marlon Brando looked like when he was 47. I know, but I also love he took multiple T-shirts.
Charlie said in our morning meeting today that was Marlon Brando's
Yes,
shirt.
I know, and he took a whole bunch. It's actually
Marlon
his.
Brando's shirt. Yeah.
No, it's actually his, and he said he took like multiple shirts of his.
So
it's a good
this
vibe.
is a shirt he got from the island when they were shooting on Brando Island?
Fun fact, there is a place right off of Tahiti in Bora Bora called Brando's Island.
Yeah, there's a hotel there.
And there's a hotel there. I didn't stay there, but I went to I jet skied over to the island.
Was it so pretty?
Oh my God, it's so pretty. It is so pretty. And it's where Marlon Brando spent a lot of time. And he isolated himself a lot, but he loved that island, yeah.
I love his vibe though at the airport, the little straw hat.
I love Billy Zane.
He's so
good.
I
think he's the best.
And my name is Tyron. I'm in Columbus, Ohio, and I think that this is a great casting. I'm in agreement with Harvey. I love me some Billy Zane. Everybody's talking about Titanic, but I know him from Tales of the Crypt, Demon Knight. I think this is a great choice. Marlon Brando is handsome. Billy Zane is still handsome. Billy Zane is no longer married. I've never been married, so I'm just putting that out there. So I said where I was at the beginning of the video. So Billy, if you see me, call me.
You know what? Everyone's got to shoot a shot.
There you
never
go.
know.
Coming up.
There's a famous photo of David Beckham on a yacht in Speedo.
20-year-old Cruz decided to do the exact same pose, but he stuffed it.
Be right back.
Cruz Beckham does not seem the least bit concerned with any of the family drama that is going on.
I would argue against that.
Really?
I think he's mimicking his father.
But Cruz Beckham, wait, do I have this right? Cruz is on David and Victoria's side.
Correct, but he's still mimicking his dad. His dad is famous for wearing Speedos. And
yes, there's a famous photo of David Beckham on a yacht in Speedo.
So Cruz decided, 20-year-old Cruz decided to do the exact same pose.
Anything you can do, I can do better.
But he stuffed it.
How do you know that Cruz Beckham stuffed his Speedo?
Eric said.
Oh, wow. Well, Eric, he just threw you under the bus immediately.
Eric said.
Yeah, either way.
They're in Saint-Tropez. It's like, he was saying to me a minute ago, he said, oh, he's just living the life. For him, it's just the life.
Living the dream.
Yeah, I mean, it's just life for him. That's the way he grew up, and that's the way it is, folks.
Life is a dream.
That's the way it is. Have a good weekend.
Thanks, Cronkite.